using meta-analysis for it. There's so many techniques, the most common technique nowadays. So this surveys historical to be subjected to inquiry. So whenever a new edition like Philip Kotler's new edition is coming, so you can simply analyze and what are the things with the whole part. So whether it is required for the purpose of a student or not. So in this way, you can write a review article, but whenever you are writing a review article, always discuss. Now this is a case study. So case study is something where we can make factual and fictional statements in your lab and in your college, and you can think about some imaginary things, and based on that you can develop a case study. So there are maybe based on a case, it is a part of publication content of case study. So our part is not that much, but then we are going to discuss about the content of case study. So essay, the essay should relate the idea to contemporary theory. So this also we have discussed. Popular article, this also we have discussed. Then whenever you are saying anything related, then we are we are going to discuss about the content of the research problem, research paper, and then you can ask your paper. Either there would be a desk rejection, or if this is not a desk rejection, they would not like your paper. They would to improve that paper. So quickly, then these are the things we are going to discuss today. I hope my slides are
Yes,
visible.
ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can
Okay.
switch to slide show mode. Shorter screen is visible. You can switch to slide.
Then it will not move. Otherwise, it will not move.
It's okay, ma'am. It also.
Okay. So we were talking, please see this model, and then this is a model two. So please see these model, and please see that what is the difference you can see. This is a model one, and this is an idea. This is a model two where I write paper. Anyone?
Self and answer directly.
Ma'am,
Yes, Nitu.
ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. So now
Ma'am, the model one,
okay.
the model one, do research accordingly. But
Hmm.
ma'am, can you please show the model
Yeah.
one once
This
again?
is model one.
And ma'am, this says that first we have to If we get an idea, then we directly do the planning or like
This model that you get
Basically,
yes,
ma'am,
yes.
so basically is like we find some information to, then we start doing who have done what work in which field, related to that concept, and then coming to paper. Yes, it has drastically or non-drastically changed theory that you have worked on.
Okay, then first, what do you think?
In
This is about
cross,
second
like
model.
we have
Yeah,
idea, we do research and write a paper. This
yeah.
I think
Mm.
not suggested.
Prove that paper. And I'm damn sure that whenever you'll send that paper for publication, nobody will, reject that paper, because that paper has already been refined. So this is my request to you. The next topic is quite related with the selection of the topic. That it should be related with your interest area. It, you should have a proper knowledge. You should you should have a feasibility of an idea. Like it should be feasible enough. Importance and urgency of the, like it should be apt for the, as per the themes. the usefulness should always be there, because lot many times whenever the students are completing their research thesis, the questions are asked that what is the noteworthy contribution to the society, how it is going to help our society. So you can, like in accounts, in commerce, or in finance, you can do a number of study based on secondary data. You can relate this variable with this variable, but then how it is going to affect the society, this is something very important. So being a research scholar, we should always remember that whether this topic is going to contribute something to the society, is going to add something to the existing knowledge of the body, and this is how we can come out with some novel ideas, the usefulness of our research. Then researchers competence is always required, like whether you are very good in quantitative part, you can use PSW, you can use smart PLS, then researcher competence is always required. You can have that kind of topics, or that kind of themes, but then if you are very good in writing something, you can go for even qualitative part of it. So there are 2 3 ways by which you can write papers. One is qualitative, and another one is quantitative, and next one is mixed. So nowadays people are using mixed methodology, although there are so many pros and cons of all these methodology, and it varies person to person, and nobody is perfect in research. So I must say that these all are opinions, and we can also add our opinions to it. So these are the sources of topics. Whenever you're selecting any topic, you can get the help of these sources, like you can take the help of uh, consultations, daily experience, brainstorming, research, intuitions, academic experiences, reading magazines or journals. So the first and foremost part which I have not discussed here, and that is very common nowadays, that people are used to write something into the chat box, the chat GPT in fact, and then they are getting the answers out of it, ready-made answers out of it. So I have not added that thing. That means I want your creativity should be used. You should use your own creativity, you should apply your own wisdom, and then after this brainstorming session you can come out with some good topics. So certain examples I'm giving, I'm simply giving you the variables only, and based on these variables you can decide your own topic. So if you can see, like this is IFRS adoption for commerce people, activity based learning if you are doing something in academic perspective, corporate governance, customer satisfaction, stock prices, financial analysis, chat GPTs, AIs, chatbots. There are so many, variables to it. And now you can make your own topic based on this. So whenever you're deciding topic, you can take the help of internet as well. But then what is your sixth sense is saying? What is your intuition is saying? What kind of knowledge you have related to that field? What is your idea? Suppose you have been suffering from problems since long, then you can come out with a good topic related to that. So I mean, the topic should not be totally dependent on chat GPT, internet, or something like that. It should be, and then only that they would contribute more to the society. So whenever you are identifying any topic, there should be a brainstorming session with your supervisor, with your classmates or research mates, and then you should discuss. Healthy discussion should be there whenever you are analyzing any topic. So once you analyze a good topic, believe me, once you've analyzed a good topic, it would relate with the hypothesis formulation, because now you have to identify certain research problem based on that. And once research problems are identified, you can make hypothesis, and once hypothesis is clear, you can apply certain tools. So now all these are in congruence. So if you are selecting a good topic, it would relate with all. So some examples are there, like if you want to form any topic based on this, then please unmute yourself and make any topic out of these variables. So just an exercise for you people, so that we can understand that how you people are in identifying the topics. So these are certain, variables like consumer perception, customer loyalty, job satisfaction, stress, working environment, investment pattern. These are certain, variables, readily
Uh,
available variables. Can you make
Ma'am,
any? Yes.
yes, a study on consumer perception of adoption of electric vehicles.
A study on consumer perception. Neha,
On
can you please repeat?
adoption of electric vehicles.
Okay, so you can see this is a very clear topic, but then the variable is single, that is customer perception. Okay, consumer perception. So a single variable studies. So whenever you are identifying anything or you are making your topic for a thesis, the topic should have more than 2-3 variables that should give you the comprehensive study. That would be a comprehensive study and give you comprehensive results even. So anyone else? The topic is quite clear, like consumer perception and adoption of electric. क्या था नेहा?
Vehicles, ma'am. Vehicles.
Okay, electric vehicles, EVs. Okay. So we can even make this topic in this way, ki consumer perception towards adoption of EV. This can be a topic. Another topic we can make like consumer perception and consumer satisfaction. There are two variables now, consumer perception and consumer satisfaction towards e-vehicles. Anything else? Yes. Apart from Neha, anyone who would like to contribute to it?
Ma'am,
Effect of investment pattern on performance of mutual fund.
Can you please repeat?
The effect of investment pattern on performance of mutual funds.
Okay. So there are two variables in the study, Divyansh.
Yeah. Yes,
Investment pattern as well as mutual fund performance. So performance and investment pattern, these are the two important variables in the study. So if you see, this is a topic, what would be your objective? Research problem kya hogi? What would be your research problem, Divyansh? To relate or to check the relationship of investment pattern on
performance of mutual
mutual fund. Yeah. So it's a very clear topic, and then once you identify a clear topic, you can easily identify the research problem. And once you're clear with the research problem, you can formulate an hypothesis. So what would be the hypothesis? Divyansh, what would be the hypothesis?
Uh, there is a
HO.
significant there is a significant relationship between investment pattern and performance of mutual fund.
So this is a alternative hypothesis he made, like H1, that there is a significant relationship between these two variables. Once this is HO, then there is a no significant relationship between these variables. So you can easily make this hypothesis. Now, which tool you would apply, Divyansh? For checking the relationship, which tool we can apply?
ma'am, ratio analysis.
Ratio analysis. Okay.
Ma'am, like trainer ratio.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sharpe
So you want to
ratio.
trainers Janssen and Sharpe, you are talking about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Performance evaluation ratios. Okay. Anything else?
And could be used. Questionnaires could be used.
Questionnaires may be used. Okay. So whenever we are using any questionnaire, there are two variables. Now, if you want to relate, we either correlation is there or regression is there. Am I clear? Correlation, regression, this can be done. And for performance evaluation, yes, you can go for trainer Janssen because we are talking about mutual fund. So you can go for Sharpe Janssen statistical tool with the help of mathematical formula. We can do this. Good. So Anything else? Any other topic somebody wants to create with the help of these variables which I have given? Aradhna, can you try? Aradhna Bhopte.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Region among professionals,
Working environment, stress, and
perception, working environment and stress, perception, professionals.
working environment and stress
On
and
perception of
and
professionals.
perception of professionals. Okay,
Yes.
okay, very good. Okay, so Aradhna, your mic is disturbing.
Aradhna, mute yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so very good. Like working environment and stress, and the perception of professionals regarding stress. Not many people are, the professionals are, working over there in the organizations. So what kind of stress and working environment they are facing? So is there any relationship between the working environment and stress? In fact, you can even talk about the performance of the individuals or human beings, or we can even relate it with the organizational performance. Working environment, stress, performance of the individuals, performance of the organizations, and then we can take the perception of the professionals. Very good. So this is how we need to identify certain topics. Your topic should be clear, concise, and they should be they are so clear so that you can understand that what would be the research problems. So there are certain topics like impact of liquidity on profitability, then consumer perception towards insurance, corporate governance, governance, quite some catchy. Nowadays people are having very catchy, so they are either in a question mark or something like that, which always create a quest to know that what is happening in that. So this may be like totally dependent on some of the topics which I'm displaying here. Then we are talking about an abstract. So this is a first part, as I've already discussed, that abstract is the first part, but it is the part which is always right. Please remember that whenever you are writing an abstract, it should include n number of things. A number of things that means the abstract cannot be completed if you are not writing the research methodology part and the findings part in it. So once you are clear with the the whole paper, this is the gist or the summary of your paper which you write in the abstract part. So I'm coming to the next part where I have shown you the elements. So, what is the purpose of our study? That should be clearly mentioned in the abstract. Then, hypothesis, overall questions, objectives, brief description of the research results, including specific data, important conclusion or questions. So, it is always written in past tense and focus on summarizing the results. So, this is how you can write. Nowadays, people are asking or they are giving certain words even that you have to complete your abstract within these words, and later on in the last of that paragraph you would find certain keywords over there. So this is how you have to write elements of abstract. And we are quickly moving to the body of the paper, that is introduction. So you have to write introduction and conceptual framework in such manner where you can identify this is a funnel approach. If you can see, like, the more generalized topics are available, and then you are coming to your own problem and finding out the gaps in it. So then we are moving towards the review of literature. So review of literature, nowadays there is a trend. People are writing review of hypothesis just below the review of literature. So this is another way of writing review of literature. But for the research scholar, the perfect way to write review of literature is creating an Excel sheet where you can write each and everything. Like you can write the name of the author, the year, the publication year, then the publication journals, then the variables they have taken for the study, then their findings, and the review in your own words. And later on, once you have completed with this Excel sheet, you can take out that review, and you can make your own review of literature based on that. So this is something very good and suggested for the scholars whenever they are writing any paper. So I don't want to tell all these sources. They are already there, conference proceedings. And I would suggest you to write some papers in even then. The papers published and the form of chapters in edited book are not going to be considered under your publication for your PhD thesis, but then it would give you a lot of knowledge. So I would suggest you to write paper, because there's so many themes coming out. They may be related to your research area, and if you want to write some papers in those themes, you can easily send those papers to them, and you would find a number of things to understand by this, because this is a kind of chapter in edited book. So you would learn a number of things out of it. So I would suggest you that if you want to write uh, you know uh, some paper, although it is not going to be considered, because in case of this thesis submission, we usually consider those papers which are published in journals rather than in the edited books. These are certain examples that how to refer text. So there are some connecting verb within the whenever you're writing review of literature, so there are some connecting verb like suggested, found, revealed, averted, explained. There are number of influencing factors. So this is how you can relate the whole, the name of the author or the surname here, then year, and then has suggested, has found, has revealed, has averted, explained. So there are so many verbs related to this would be there, and you can write this in the content part. This is how you quote reference at the end, because for the social science student, APA citation style is required, and for the students of IEEE engineering and something like some other fields, there may be like MLA, like Harvard HBR, and IEEE citing styles are required. Then we will quickly come to the research topics, research objective. Your research objective should always be smart. So smart means what? Specific. Then they should be measurable. They should be accurate. They should be realistic, and they should be time bound. So your objective should always be measurable. So lot many time people used to write the role of this and this, but then that role is not going to specify that what kind of role you want to have, or what kind of objective you want to make out of it. So once your objectives are not measurable, you won't be able to connect it with the tool. So if you're not able to connect it with the tool, that means there is a problem in your objective. So first of all, whenever you're making any objective, you need to connect with the tool as well. So suppose I'm writing an objective like I want to identify certain factor. So what is the tool? The factor analysis. I want to identify, I want to develop a case study. So what is a tool? Case study, qualitative way. I want to interview people, and then based on that I can even write that we to measure the perception of the human beings or people towards chat GPT. So this is what kind of tool I would like to measure with the help of this, what kind of tool I would like use. So there would be a questionnaire by which I would collect data, and then that perception would be measured with the help of some statistical tool. So this is how everything should be clear whenever you are making any research objective. Your research objective should always be smart. Then moving further, I'm coming to the research methodology quickly. So research methodology should always be like, there may be three ways of doing the study. One is like you can go for um, this prime exploratory study, you can go for descriptive study, and the third one you can go for experimental. So experimental design again divided into either experimental and or non-experimental, and then in case of experimental with control variable and without control variable. So there are different methodology type of studies are there. But then whenever we are talking about research methodology, we should be clear about that what kind of population or universe we are going to cater, And then on the basis of that population, I'm going to check the sample as well. Then on the basis of that sample, what kind of sampling element and sampling technique I'm going to apply. So do you know how many types of sampling techniques are there? Anyone? How many types of sampling techniques are there?
Two types.
Broadly,
Two.
Okay. What are they?
probability, non-probability sampling.
So it's a probability sampling and non-probability sampling. So how would you differentiate between both these two?
For probability, normal distribution should be there. For non-probability, the data is not normally distributed.
Okay. Any
Ma'am,
example, Neha? Yes, Abhishek.
the method of choosing the sample is by giving the full chance to get into the sample or to get into the population is the
That is
major
probability.
criteria to be considered. Yes, and which have
So,
not, then the vice versa happens.
okay. So which one is common most of the time? Which kind of method we used to have? Probability or non-probability?
Generally, people use non-probability only.
Yes.
Non-probability.
Probability methods are more accurate.
But the probability methods are more accurate because we are taking the data on the from each and every respondent, just like a census data. We're taking the
Yes.
data from each and every respondent. So this is how it is. The data, the results would not be biased. They would be, accurate. More we can say there seems to be more accurate. But then, whenever we are going for when the data size is quite large, it's not possible to collect data from each and everyone, and that is why we make samples. And that is how non-probability sampling is quite common, because then we can go for different, like purposive sampling technique is there, like stratified sampling technique is there, like non probability but then snowball technique is there. Like if you are going to the probability method, then systematic random sampling method is there. So there are so many methods or techniques, but then you should always see that what kind of data you have, whether that is an appropriate technique or not, and then based on that you can easily work on that particular technique or select that technique. We're moving further. So research methodology includes what? Research methodology includes five major things. One is the type of study. Second is the universe, sample population, and then the sample size, sampling element, and sampling technique. And last one is data tools for data analysis and tools for data collection. These are the various softwares available for data analysis like SPSS, Stata, eViews, Gretel, R, MATLAB. So if you have worked on R, out of all these, R is an openly available software. I don't know whether your university has subscription of PSW eViews or not, but then if they do not have any license or any subscription of all these software, you can do research with the help of R. And the beauty of R is that on the basis of R, you can easily, update your data. Suppose you are collecting data, you have collected data, 6 months back, and you want and then you stuck in somewhere else, and then after 6 months you realize that I need to write that paper again. So you can go to libraries over there in R and refresh your data, and you need not to collect the data of last 6 months. So this is what the beauty of R is, and R is an openly available software. So if you can do some research over there, why not? It is preferable nowadays. Python is also one of the important software or language by which you can program, you can develop programming. But then the syntax of Python and R both are available. If you want to do it, it does not require that you are from, whether you are from that background or not. So I would also like to mention some of the softwares which are basically for required for your referencings, like reference manager is there, like Mendeley is there. So you can even collect some you can make your references based on that. So they would support you. Like gone are the days when people didn't have these kind of things, but nowadays you have in number of things. Then NVivo, this is also one of the important software for qualitative data analysis. And this is like was viewer, and even you can use R and Biblioshiny to do systematic literature review, SLR and Prisma. So there are different software by which you can apply. But then whenever you are applying any software, you should be well versed with the idea. Smart PL has been इसमें नहीं लिखा है मैंने, so that can also be a good software. So we are coming to the results and discussion. So what this is another important technique for writing research. So whenever you're writing results, you can write result in two ways. Like there's a significant difference or there is no significant difference. But until and unless you're not adding discussion to it, it is useless. So normally papers which were published in the international journals, they require a lot of discussion, and that discussion should discussion should include the paper's reference even. That means these are the results which are similar with this, these are the results which are similar with that. So this is how discussion should always be added to your paper. And writing about the stock market would move up, but then it is not moving up, then you have to write certain discussions over there. Until unless you are not writing this, you won't be able to justify your results. So this is about discussion. Discussion is something which is very important. Most of the time you get the remarks of the reviewers that the discussion is not if you has made H1, that is alternative hypothesis. Whenever I asked to make hypothesis, you made H1 hypothesis. So the results are not rejected. There should be supported. Either the hypothesis is supported or not supported. Whenever you're writing HO, then either it is rejected or not rejected. So this is how you have to write the words. You are very, very, careful while choosing these words. Do not simply dismiss a study or a part of a study as inconclusive. Research paper is not accepted if the work is incomplete. So that is why this is also something very important. Then last one is conclusion, because I have to quickly discuss that questionnaire development part as well. So conclusion is something which should be written in your own words. A lot many time it happens that whatever the findings are there, you're writing your same findings in the conclusion. So conclusion is basically for generalizing what you have done. So restate your thesis, show what kind of material you have presented, analyze and evaluate the main point. But then what are the conclusion should be written in your own words. It should not be copy paste. Okay, so this is what conclusion. And then referencing we have discussed. This is IEEE. This is what APA, and uh, most of the time you use APA and IEEE methods. So I'm not going, uh, deep into this. I'm going for a particular topic, and that is plagiarism. Yes. So this is also, you should be very, very careful while writing. Your content should not be plagiarized. Nowadays, Turnitin is taking even whatever you have copied from ChatGPT. It is giving AI content as well. So very, very careful. And people are losing their jobs. They are retracting their paper. It is a very serious phenomenon nowadays. One of the very, one of the very established universities, teacher, She got retracted her paper just because it is copied, totally copied, or it was the idea of others. So please don't do this. You would be in a serious kind of offense, and then there would be some kind of financial penalty or punishment as well. And then uh, academicians, they have their own reputation. So if you are doing these kind of things, even if a single research scholar would do this mistake on your behalf, the paper would be retracted and your reputation is on stake. So I request you, please do not copy paste anything. Try to rewrite everything. Being a research scholar, make it a habit that whatever the things are there, you read them carefully and then rewrite it. So if you rewrite all those things, definitely you won't be in. Normally, I used to say close everything and rewrite. सो जो आपने पढ़ा उसको डिटेल में सोचिए, थॉट्स बनाइए एंड देन रीराइट योर थॉट्स. सो ये कभी भी कॉपीड नहीं होगा. सो दिस इज अ सीरियस काइंड ऑफ थिंग विच शुड ऑलवेज बी careful enough for being an academician and being a research scholar. People are redirecting their paper. I would not name that person, but then the person was vice chancellor. Then because of the copied research, he was demoted to assistant professor's post. So this is how which has happened earlier, and that is really alarming. So we should take lessons from this, and we do not copy paste anything from others material. And if you are taking any idea, please give them proper citation and reference. And I know if you want to write, I hope you might be knowing it, that wherever you're writing a definition, you should give in a quotation, and then it would not be considered as a copied idea. And then if you're taking any idea without citing, that would be a serious offense. So please be careful while doing this. I'm quickly moving to another uh, part of it, and that is questionnaire development. And then I would ask questions related to this in the end. I hope questionnaire development and designing slide is clearly visible to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, questionnaire. What is a questionnaire? It's a method for data collection by which we can collect the data. And normally we are using mail surveys nowadays. People are making their Google Docs, and they're making Google Forms, and preparing that questionnaire link and sending it to everywhere. So now collecting the data is quite easier for us. But whenever you are making a question, you should clear about it, that you should get a very clear response. The limiting response. That means the answer should not be vague enough. The length of the answer should be in such a manner so that you can easily understand that whether this is what the part which you want to grasp from it or not. Then your questionnaire should be very intrusive. That means you should always remember that there are certain sensitive question, some personal question, and private thoughts are there which should not be considered over there. So I'm going to discuss very simple method of developing the questionnaire. One way is that you can get the questionnaire in get the standardized one. So whenever you're getting an standardized questionnaire, you need not to take so much pains. So this is one of the great method by which you can simply adopt a questionnaire of others, and then you can check the reliability of that question. Obviously it is required to check the reliability because you are changing the context. So you need to change the reliability. The time has already been changed. because somebody has taken that questionnaire in some of the other geographical area in other time, and now you are say adopting the same one. So these are the things which are always required. Even you need to check if you are applying smart PLS and all, you need to check quickly. You can check the discriminant and content validities as well. But suppose you do not have these kind of access, then I would suggest you to check the face validity of the questionnaire. Now, what is face validity of the questionnaire? Anyone?
What we want to measure, it is actually measuring that.
Okay, so this is what the face validity. So how can we check it, Neha? How can we check the face validity of the questionnaire?
One through the experts. We can go to the experts and we can ask for
So
their
we can
views.
send it to this is a Delphi method. Yes. So this is a Delphi method by which we can send this to other expertise of that areas, and then we can, take their views. And it would be very, very important for your pilot study as well. So questionnaire designing is always is an art basically, and it always requires certain kind of carefulness while preparing it. So पहला तो मैं आपको यही suggest कर रही हूँ that if you are doing a research, please get the standardized questionnaires. And if you are involve yourself into making a self-designed questionnaire, it would be a different, PhD topic for you. So you have already identified one topic and now you're working on two, because developing a questionnaire is a art. Developing a questionnaire is also very difficult kind of task. So क्योंकि उसकी आपको reliability भी करनी है, उसकी आपको validity भी check करनी है. So what kind of questions you have collected, whether these questions or items, इन हम questions को हम items कहते हैं. So these items are fulfilling those, variables measurements or not. Can we measure that variable based on those questions or not? So this is something very important. So this is a procedure for development. Suppose you are not getting questions and you are new to the field and you are doing something very new, और कोई एक part का question आपको नहीं मिल रहा है, then I would suggest you to, follow this method. Procedure for development है ये. What kind of questionnaire you want to have, determine the content of individual questions, determine the form of responses to each questions, and determine the wording of each question. So format में दो part में आप divide कर सकते हैं. One is the general part, another one is where we have a continuous kind of variables. वहाँ पर हम Likert scale पर 1 to 5, 1 to 7 scale पर हम respondents पूछ रहे हैं, respondents के answer ले रहे हैं. Okay. So whenever you're asking these questions, they can be divided into two parts. One is the general part, generalized, where we can ask about their gender, their occupation, the kind of categorical variable, all the nominal scale variable. One yes no answer होगा, जिन्हें हम 1 2 कर सकते हैं, binary codings हो सकती है, ऐसे वाले सब generalized हो गए. And then second part is basically the continuous part, where we are asking these questions on a scale. Okay, so we need to do this. And further, these are the ways of different forms of questionnaire or different forms by which we can do these surveys. So one is self-administered survey. This is a kind of survey which we are doing with the help of like हमने questionnaire send कर दिया.
If we want to adapt a questionnaire from somebody else's research, but we are not getting enough questions what we want to do include in our research, then what we can do for that? We are not getting the whole things that we want to conduct in our research.
Okay, Pooja, one thing is very important. If you are taking or adopting the questionnaire of somebody else, you have to copy the whole, suppose there are 4 variables. So in every variable, and you think that you should come out with your own, then you have to think about your self-designing questionnaire. But then I would always suggest you, don't, take, as a normally it happens that we used to take एक ही वेरिएबल 5 लोगों ने स्टडी कर रखा है, दे माइट हैव यूज डिफरेंट क्वेश्चनर, तो हर वेरिएबल्स हर क्वेश्चनर का हमने क्या दो दो क्वेश्चन उठा लिया, and then we made that Bhanmati ka pitara. This is not justified, this is not suggested, advisable, because whenever you are collecting all these items together, checking their reliability time of yours, how you're asking, and suppose in one case you're asking question on based on basis on the basis of I think this, and another way there are some options given on the basis of that you have to rate. So there are different ways, and we cannot combine all these together. So put it with the questions that your variable is measuring, and then you have to develop your own. But then I would suggest you and it is advisable to take or adopt others questionnaire. They are already available. Otherwise you have to do two PhDs together. One, you have to develop the self design questionnaire, another you have to complete your PhD task. So this is how it works.
Questions, some of them are not necessary. So can we remove that questions, or no changes
No,
should be made in
that is
that
what I'm
questionnaire?
saying. You should not remove any questions. You should not add any questions to it. अगर आप standardized questionnaire use करें, as it is you have to use.
And if we are using the same questionnaire, then we have to use the same constructs to make.
Now, if you're using the same questionnaire, then there's no issue. You can use questionnaire. I'm not getting it, Pooja.
Ma'am, if you are using the questionnaire of someone else, that thing or that variable.
Obviously, but then sometime it happens that even you can change a bit, like the in the language part, and then you can measure your own. बहुत छोटा सा पार्ट चेंज करके, ऐसा नहीं कि हमने पूरा आइटम ही चेंज कर दिया है ना. यू कैन चेंज अ स्मॉल पार्ट, लाइक उन्होंने लिखा है कि आई और हम लिख रहे हैं कि वी थिंक, या उन्होंने लिखा है वी और आई और हम लिख रहे हैं यू. Subject can be
They
changed.
written like saving skills, so we can write it like saving practices, like that.
नहीं, skills अलग है, practices अलग है. So if you are going for practices, you need to identify any practices questionnaire.
अगर हम कुछ मेजर करना चाहते हैं, उसका एक पार्ट किसी क्वेश्चनर में मिला है, दूसरा पार्ट किसी और के क्वेश्चनर में मिला है, तो हमको दोनों पूरा अडॉप्ट करना पड़ेगा.
बिल्कुल पूरा अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए.
सिर्फ वो कंस्ट्रक्ट का पार्ट नहीं उठा सकते, सिर्फ वही कंस्ट्रक्ट या वही फैक्टर जिसको हम मेजर करना चाहते हैं, उसके जितने क्वेश्चंस हैं उतने उठा लें, पूरा उसका स्टडी का पार्ट ना हो.
सब उस पूरे, सपोज एक वेरिएबल है, नॉट ए कंस्ट्रक्ट, एक वेरिएबल है जिसके 6 आइटम्स हैं, ठीक है. और ये 6 आइटम्स आपको उठाने होंगे, बिकॉज दिस इज व्हाट द होल क्वेश्चनर.
हाँ, तो मैम वही वेरिएबल्स डिफर कर सकते हैं. तो हमको अगर उनके क्वेश्चनर में 2 वेरिएबल काम का लग रहा है, तो वो 2 वेरिएबल से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन ले सकते हैं.
व्हाई नॉट
पूरा क्वेश्चनर लेने की जरूरत नहीं
है.
जी, थैंक यू.
राइट, पूरा क्वेश्चनर लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, yes.
Ma'am, like for example, I have reviewed papers. I'm working on a topic of behavioral biases. So some authors have worked on heuristic theory and some have worked on prospect theory. And I want to take both the topics. Like I want to work on heuristic theory also, I want to work on prospect theory also. Then can I use the questionnaire of two authors?
Yeah. See, heuristic is different. Aradhana, heuristic is to
Like prospect theory.
prospect theory is different. So prospect theory is basically to identify, something which is already in your mindset and how you behave. It is your, mental plan, like formula plans and all. So this is something heuristic in nature. So whenever you are considering both these prospects, like both these perceptions or perspective, then you have to take both. ह्यूरिस्टिक भी लेंगे और प्रोस्पेक्ट्स भी लेंगे, रिलेटेड टू प्रोस्पेक्ट्स भी लेंगे, अगर आपके वेरिएबल में ये डिफाइन है, अगर आपके टॉपिक में ये डिफाइंड है. Okay, then we are moving towards the different interviews, like you might be knowing it, so I'm quickly coming to the ओके मैं यहाँ पर आ जाती हूँ, अगर आप टाइप्स ऑफ इंटरव्यू से शुरू कर देती हूँ. ओके, सो देयर में भी डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ इंटरव्यू, लाइक ये क्वालिटेटिव में होता है जब आप फेस टू फेस इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं. देयर में भी structure. Nowadays we are sending every questionnaire through mails, and that is a kind of self-administered questionnaires. So structured and unstructured भी हो सकते हैं. Sometime whenever you are going to make a case study, then then structured would not work. Unstructured interviews will work, because then you want to identify something niche, something unique, and for that maybe the question would be derived from others answer. So यहाँ पे जब derived हो जाएगा तो unstructured interviews will play a very important role. Focused interview, focused attention है on the given experience of the respondent. Clinical, you might be knowing, it is concerned with the broad underlying feelings or motivation, and most of the time it is used by psychology students. Non-directive interview, its function is simply to encourage the respondent to talk about the given topic with the bare minimum of directing question. So non-directive interviews है, मतलब आप बिल्कुल एक ही जगह पर फोकस है, यहाँ पर आप फोकस नहीं है, because it is not non-directive. So आपको कोई एक पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन में नहीं करना है, and because these kind of interviews are mostly very common whenever this inquiry is made by the CBI. So they are basically they're non-directive interviews. So they are not asking question related to a context or related to a particular topic, because they know it very well that nobody is going to give answer. So idhar udhar se sare questions पूछते हैं, and then they come to the conclusion. These are the advantages of interview method. Faster hai, cheaper hai, easy hai. Then replies can be recorded. No field staff is required. ये क्वेश्चनर मेथड है, ये जहां पर कि हम बहुत बिग इंक्वायरीज लेना चाहते हैं. बायस नहीं है यहाँ पर इंटरव्यूअर का, क्योंकि यहाँ पर इन्यूमरेटर खुद नहीं जा रहा है ना. आपके पास कोई शेड्यूल में इन्यूमरेटर जाता है, इंटरव्यू करने के लिए खुद इंटरव्यूअर जाता है. और क्वेश्चनर मेथड में आप सिंपली एक क्वेश्चनर फिल करवा लेते हैं, एंड वहां पर आप कोई भी उसे कंट्रोल वेरिएबल नहीं है, वहां पे बिल्कुल इट इज फ्री फ्रॉम बायसेस. Then we are moving. These are the requirement for close-ended questions. Like it is mutually exclusive, mutually exhaustive. So very important that whenever you are asking any question, जैसे अगर आप इसको देख पा रहे हैं स्लाइड को, तो if you are asking any question related to this, like there's a category, and category says that 1,000 to 5,000, and then 5,000 to 10,000. So these are mutually exclusive question, because those who are exactly on 5,000, whether they would come in the first category or in the second category. So very very important to understand that इसीलिए pilot study करते हैं, so that you can understand the loopholes of your question. Then in this case you can easily understand that how would you ask these things. So कैटेगरीज कैसे डिफाइन करेंगे. इनफैक्ट इट हैपेंस इन एज एज वेल. जैसे मैंने कहा कि 20 से 25, एंड नेक्स्ट एज ग्रुप बना दिया मैंने 25 से 30, और फिर मैंने नेक्स्ट एज ग्रुप बना लिया 30 से 35. सो दिस मीन्स whatever the things which we are doing in mutually exclusive kind of thing. So people are confused. People would not know that where to go, how to go, which one is to be taken. तो हमने confusion खुद ही पैदा कर दिया. तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर? What we are doing? हमने किया 1000 to now कैसे मुझे करना चाहिए? 1000 to 5000 मेरी first category है. Then 5001 to 10,000. This is my second category. Then 10,001 to and above. This is my third category. 25 to 30. Then 30.1 to 35. Then 35.1 to 40. This is how we should make it clear. Then comes to the second part, that is mutually exhaustive. Response category should include all possible response. Sometimes this is achieved by including response options like others. Like आपने कहा कि what is your brand whenever you are going for choosing toothpaste. ठीक है, so आपने 5 ब्रांड लिख लिए, लेकिन उस 5 ब्रांड में हो सकता है उसकी ब्रांड नहीं हो, तो हम क्या लिखेंगे? अदर्स. सो हम वी नीड टू स्पेसिफाई. सो म्यूचुअली एग्जॉस्टिव है ये. सो व्हेनेवर यू आर मेकिंग दीज काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, जैसे आप जनरल क्वेश्चन तो अपने आप ही क्रिएट करते हैं, वो तो हम स्टैंडर्डाइज वन से कॉपी नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो आपको ये सारी चीजें बहुत केयरफुली लिखनी चाहिए. इवन इफ यू आर नॉट डेवलपिंग क्वेश्चनेयर, बट देन you are collecting data for your categorical variable. You want to apply ANOVA and you cannot apply ANOVA without it. आपको ये चाहिए कि भाई हमको ये जो categorical variables हैं ये सब मिलते रहे. So this is how we need to do this. So I'm quickly coming to the art of asking question. We should avoid complexity. Leading and loaded questions नहीं होने चाहिए. Avoid ambiguity, avoid double-barreled items, avoid making assumptions, avoid burden questions. So, like there are some examples. Question leading questions कैसे होते हैं? Most studies have stopped eating junk food. Do you eat junk food? Now, I am hinting them. This is a leading kind of question. So that should not be there. Even in our general part, it should not be there. It is a leading question. Then मैं आपसे ये पूछूं कि partially mentioning some alternative जैसे fast food restaurant, do you prefer AI ताजा और others? So यहाँ पर जब मैं आपको ये सब लीड करके दे रही हूँ, तो obviously आप पहले वाले पर जाकर टिक कर देंगे. So क्यों, why to take so much pains? So see, simply there are so many things by which we can remove the confusion of others. This is a kind of loaded question. So जब भी आप क्वेश्चन पूछे तो लोडेड नहीं हो. जैसे मैं आपसे पूछूं कि आपके हाउ मेनी टाइम, हाउ फ्रीक्वेंटली यू विजिट, तो आप बता दोगे 1, 2, twice, thrice. ठीक है. मैं आपसे पूछूं कि हाउ फ्रीक्वेंटली, हाउ मेनी टाइम्स यू परचेज दिस प्रोडक्ट सिंस लास्ट 4 years. Now I'm creating loads on my respondents. So loaded question should always be avoided. We should not ask these questions. It's a common kind of question, like whenever you are जैसे आप कभी किसी के घर जाए और वो आपसे कहे कि भाई आज तो बहुत गर्मी है एंड आप चाय तो नहीं पियेंगे, तो आपका आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? नहीं. तो ये एक लीडिंग क्वेश्चन है. So please avoid these kind of leading questions. Loaded questions, आप बहुत ज्यादा डेटा इकट्ठा करने के चक्कर में उससे ये ना पूछ लें कि भाई 4 साल से कितनी बार मॉल में गए और तुमने this is a kind of thing we should always be remember whenever you are asking questions to your respondents. And please put yourself in the shoes of respondent. एक बार देखो, एक order of question both can lead to order biases. So we should be very very careful. जैसे मैंने पूछ लिया how frequently you purchase, और फिर उसके बाद मैंने पूछा उसके next मैंने question कर लिया कि ये product आपने कौन कौन सा product आपने purchase किया. ठीक है. Then I am in a sequence. जैसे ही मैंने पूछा कितने फ्रीक्वेंटली जाते हैं, उसके बाद मैंने ऐसा पूछ लिया कि आप ये प्रोडक्ट ये कौन सा प्रोडक्ट परचेस करते हैं और फिर कितनी बार जाते हैं, देन इट इज अ रिवर्स वे ऑफ फाइंडिंग इट. सो क्वेश्चन का सीक्वेंस शुड ऑलवेज बी remembered by the questionnaire at the time of questionnaire design. This is the order of question. Use simple, interesting, opening question, asking for respondents' opinion for an issue. Ask general question before specific question. मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि हम अपने information last. Place difficult or sensitive question late in questionnaire. नहीं तो पहले ही उसका mood खड़ जाएगा. So we were doing a study with the acid attacked women. So we were asking question very sensitively, because first they don't give any kind of response at that time. They were not ready to give any response. But then we acid attack women. So then once they were ready, we should ask the sensitive kind of questions very late. If you're asking them in the starting, they won't be able to answer it. So finish asking question on one topic before moving to another. So completely एक variable का पूरा measure करने के बाद we have to shift to the another variable. This is what the order. Now coming, can see on screen and what kind of problem you are facing, like some problematic question. How satisfied are you with the bank's customer service and online platform? It is a kind of question which can confuse our respondents. Why? Because we are asking two things together. One is customer service and another one is online platform. Are you getting it? So that means it is a double-barreled question. You should not ask this. What do you think the government fails to regulate financial institution effectively? What is wrong in it? Or if I can convert it in this way, I think the government fails to regulate financial institution effectively. So Neha, what is the word which should not be there?
Fails to regulate, I think.
Exactly. Fails. The fails word should not be there. Why? Because हमने उसको lead दे दिया. Leading question हो गया ये. Why do you love our new product? Love. How can we reframe? Why do you love our new product? So love is something which is leading. So the questions,
why do you like our new product?
Like our new product. Okay. Anything else?
Yes.
What is your
Or
review?
prefer?
Can you please review our new
What
product?
can we use?
Yes.
Why you prefer our new product?
Why do you prefer our new product? Okay. So that means love is the wrong word here. Don't you agree that our new product is the best in the market? So what is wrong in it?
Don't you agree?
Don't you agree that our new product is the best in the market? No. Best. Best is the leading one. Okay.
Don't
Best
you
is the
agree
leading.
is also leading.
Don't you agree? I agree. So that is the best in the market. So don't you agree is also, yes, it can also lead, because we are asking, no, don't won't you like to take, or would you not like to agree with this? Exactly. And the best one. Okay. Some more questions are also for you. Bataiye. Do you think our environmentally friendly packaging is a good idea? What kind of?
Environmentally friendly packaging is a leading.
Environmentally friendly
environment
packaging.
friendly.
तो क्या होना चाहिए इसकी जगह? What is your review on our packaging? Or what is your review on products packaging? ठीक है? Don't you think people should save more for retirement?
Do you think saving is more important?
I think saving is more important.
Opinion on saving for retirement.
Pardon?
Opinion for saving for retirement.
Exactly. Opinion for saving, because the answer should not be biased. We cannot ask them to save money. We are simply asking, what do you think about your retirement? What are your retirement plans? What is your opinion about your retirement plans? Khatam. So that means we are not leading anything towards it. So these can be the questions which should be we while writing down, we should be very, very careful. What time do you usually go to the gym after work? ये कोई बताएगा मुझे, what time do you usually go to the gym after work? I've specified that after work you are going for gym. Getting it? So we should not include double-barreled question. We should not include questions which are leading. We should not include questions which are loaded or confusing, and which which may confuse our respondents. And that is how we cannot get exact answer from our respondent, whatever.
In all these examples I've seen, these are mostly open-ended questions. So in
Yes.
close-ended also this can happen.
Obviously. Why not? Why not? So if a close-ended question is there, you are giving some options to it.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are giving some option and they have to fill the response in those questions only. In fact, इसको भी हम open-ended बना सकते हैं. जैसे ये है ना, I think.
Shrishti Sharma, kindly mute yourself. Shrishti Sharma, kindly mute yourself.
So even we can make questions from this. जैसे मैं यहाँ पर इसमें से देखकर बना सकती हूँ. Why do you think the government fails to regulate financial institutions? I think the government regulations related to financial institutions are not proper. So मैं यहाँ पर I think लगाकर भी उसे क्या बना सकती हूँ? स्केल में बना सकती हूँ. जैसे हम यहाँ पर अगर हम हाउ सेटिस्फाइड आर यू विद द बैंक्स कस्टमर, तो इसको भी हम ऐसा बना सकते हैं, आई एम सेटिस्फाइड विद द बैंक्स कस्टमर सर्विस. 1 to 5 में रैंक करिए. आई एम सेटिस्फाइड विद द ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म. 1 to 5 में उसे रेट करिएगा. सो दिस इज हाउ वी कैन मूव विद दिस वे. ये देखिए क्लोज एंडेड हो सकते हैं. आई थिंक आई हैव टेकन मच टाइम. So this is a questionnaire pre-testing. Like always, pre-testing is required whenever you are preparing any questionnaire. This is only for the pilot study. So you need to do the pre-testing of the questionnaire based on that. And difference between questionnaire and schedule, because schedule mein enumerator is there, and schedules are basically for those who are not able to fill those questionnaires. Suppose you want to collect certain agents over there, those who are in touch with them, and they can directly go to them and they can ask. Or suppose you are collecting some data related to microfinancing from the farmers, then also some microfinancing people who are offering them these kind of schemes, they are in direct touch with them, they can even ask and write. But then the chances are there to have a biased data, because we are not going वो separately नहीं हो रहा है. So there may be chances to have a biased data. So this is what I wanted to discuss. I hope I've justified with the topic, because the topics ज़्यादा था और शायद हम उतना time नहीं ले पाए थे. So in fact, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Ma'am, हम किसी थीसिस का क्वेश्चनेयर ना लेने के बजाय क्या हम किसी पेपर का क्वेश्चनेयर ले सकते हैं जो हमारे वेरिएबल से किसी एक वेरिएबल से मैच कर रहा हो?
बिल्कुल, नो इश्यूज।
सिर्फ उसी वेरिएबल का पार्ट हम उठा सकते हैं उस क्वेश्चनेयर
बिल्कुल
से,
उठा सकते हैं, बिल्कुल उठा
उस
सकते
पेपर
हैं।
में भी रिलायबिलिटी वैलिडिटी टेस्ट किया है बट कम पॉपुलेशन पे और डिफरेंट डेमोग्राफिक ग्रुप्स पे किया है, बट वो हमारे स्टडी को मैच करे, तो क्या हम उसको ले सकते हैं?
एग्जैक्टली, यू कैन टेक, पूजा ले सकते हैं आप।
ओके,
मैम
थैंक यू।
स्कोरिंग की के लिए पूछना था, स्कोरिंग की कैसे बनाते हैं क्वेश्चनर में?
स्कोरिंग की के लिए देखिए, देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज। कई बार स्कोरिंग कीज ऐसी होती है जहां पर कि आप उनका कुछ अलग मीनिंग है, जैसे 1 to 5 हमने लाइकट स्केल पर रैंक नहीं किया, बट देन देयर आर डिफरेंट वेज ऑफ डूइंग इट। सो अलग अलग तरह की स्कोरिंग कीज होते हैं। यू कैन नॉट मेक इट, आप स्टैंडर्डाइज को ही लें, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट इजी टू मेक दोज बैटरीज और इन्वेंट्रीज। आप खुद ही करेंगे, आपको खुद ही बनानी होंगी अगर, तो वो डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा। सो स्कोरिंग कीज अलग अलग तरीके से होती है। आप डिकोडिंग कैसे कर सकते हो ये तो मैं बताती हूँ, बट देन उसके लिए आपको क्वेश्चनर देखना पड़ता है। जो आप स्कोरिंग कीज की बात कर रही हैं, जैसे आप कहते हैं ना 1 to, ये किसी ने आंसर इसके बीच में दिया है तो ये होगा, तो आपको वो नीचे ऑटोमेटिकली मिलेंगी, यू कैन नॉट क्रिएट इट।
ओके मैम, मैं मतलब वो फैक्टर्स होते हैं, फिर फैक्टर के अंदर जो आइटम्स होते हैं उनको लेकर स्केल पे 1 to 5 मतलब रेट करके देन उनको एड अप करके और फिर डिवाइड करके एवरेज निकाल के हम निकालेंगे।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, एवरेज नहीं निकालना है।
ओके,
मीन वैल्यूज मत निकालिएगा, क्योंकि सॉफ्टवेयर्स में आप टोटल से यूज करते हैं। अब आपको क्या करना है, हॉरिजॉन्टली आइटम्स आते हैं स्केल एक्सेल शीट में, हॉरिजॉन्टली आइटम आते हैं एंड वर्टिकली आपके रिस्पोंडेंट्स आते हैं।
ओके,
वर्टिकली आपके रिस्पोंडेंट्स आते हैं, तो आप वैसा ही रिस्पॉन्स शीट बनाएंगे। आई कैन शो यू वन रिस्पॉन्स शीट इफ इट इज अवेलेबल हियर। Yes, it is available. So I can, एक मिनट बस मैं इनको एक्सेल शीट शो कर दूं मैम को, जस्ट वेट। So you have to prepare this in this manner. Is it visible?
नो मैम, राइट नाउ अभी तो नहीं विजिबल है।
अभी भी नहीं है?
नो मैम, अभी आई। नाउ इट इज विजिबल।
ओके, विजिबल है ना? तो अब अगर आप देख पा रहे हो, ये मेरे आइटम्स है, देखो ये जहां मैं क्लिक कर रही हूँ, दीज आर माय आइटम्स।
ओके,
ठीक है, एंड दीज, ये मेरे रिस्पोंडेंट हैं, ये जो रिस्पोंडेंट हैं वो ऐसे हैं मेरे वर्टिकली, स्टूडेंट, हाउस वाइफ, ये सब रिस्पोंडेंट्स हैं। ठीक है, सो
टेक स्क्रीनशॉट।
मैम इनिशियली अगर हम सिर्फ परसेप्शन जानना चाहते हैं या पायलट स्टडी के टाइम कितने क्वेश्चंस हमें फ्रेम करना चाहिए?
परसेप्शन के क्वेश्चनर में जितने क्वेश्चंस हैं, आपने परसेप्शन
मिनिमम कितने होने चाहिए? 15, 20?
नहीं, ऐसा कोई मिनिमम मैक्सिमम का वो नहीं होता कि कितने होने चाहिए, लेकिन आप क्या करेंगे, जैसे परसेप्शन जानना चाहते हैं तो आप मान लीजिए आप सर्विस का क्वालिटी देखना चाहते हैं, तो परसरमन का क्वेश्चनर है स्टैंडर्डाइज, आप वो उठा लेंगे। ठीक है, उसमें जितने क्वेश्चंस है यू हैव टू आस्क दोस क्वेश्चन। हाँ, आप जो पूछना चाह रहे हैं वो मुझे लग रहा है रिस्पोंडेंट के लिए पूछना चाह रहे हैं।
मैम नहीं, जैसे मेरा काम सेकेंडरी डाटा पे है, बट मैं कोई पॉलिसी है वो इम्प्लीमेंट हुई है, लेकिन उसका परसेप्शन जैसे अकेडमिशियन, बैंकर्स या नॉर्मली जितने भी हैं टाइप, फाइनेंशियल में है कहीं भी, तो उनका परसेप्शन जानना है कि वो पॉलिसी के बारे में कितना जानते हैं, है या नहीं है। तो उस पर जो क्वेश्चनर बनाऊं मैं, तो मिनिमम जो सेटअप क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए वो 20 से अबव होना चाहिए या कम भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि मुझे सिर्फ परसेप्शन जानना है।
तो धर्मशिला, इट टोटली डिपेंड्स अपॉन द फीचर्स। जैसे हमने कहा पॉलिसी के क्या क्या फीचर्स हैं, पॉलिसी को के बारे में तो जानना चाहते हैं आप, तो उस पॉलिसी के सारे फीचर से एक क्वेश्चन बनेगा, हर फीचर का एक क्वेश्चन बनेगा, बिकॉज दैट क्वेश्चनर शुड मेजर योर पॉलिसीज परसेप्शन ना। तो तो आपके पॉलिसी में जितने भी फीचर्स हैं उनसे मिलाकर आप एक क्वेश्चनर बनाएंगे। अब मैं कह दूं आप 4 बनाएंगे, आपके पॉलिसी के 10 फीचर हैं, तो फिर वो सही नहीं होगा ना।
जी मैम, थैंक यू।
एम आई क्लियर?
यस मैम, थैंक यू।
सो ये एक एक्सेल शीट आपको दिख पा रही है। तो इसमें ये सारे जो हैं वो क्वेश्चंस हैं, आइटम्स हैं जिन्हें। तो उसके बाद यहाँ पर अगर आए तो मैंने यहाँ पर कुछ कैटेगोरिकल वेरिएबल्स ले रखे हैं, जैसे जेंडर है ऐसे, और कंट्रोल F करूंगी और फाइंड करूंगी, रिप्लेस करूंगी। जैसे मैंने कहा कि 18 से 24 ये मेरी फर्स्ट कैटेगरी है, तो किससे 1 से, तो रिप्लेस ऑल। तो यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे तो ये सब 1 हो जाएंगे। इज इट विजिबल?
Yes, ma'am.
ये अब आप देखिए 25 to 33 रह गया है, सो ये मैं किससे रिप्लेस कर दूंगी 2 से, और 41 एंड अबव ये किससे रिप्लेस करूंगी 3 से। सो दिस इट मींस कि आई हैव 3 कैटेगरीज ऑफ एज। ठीक है, सो अभी ये डिकोडिंग रह गई है इसकी, इसको अभी पूरा डिकोड करना है। जैसे ग्रेजुएट, स्टूडेंट या ऑक्यूपेशन है, इन्हें सबको मुझे एनोवा के लिए 1 to 3 में चेंज करना होगा। दिस इज हाउ वी यूज टू मेक दिस शीट। और ये क्या है, ये गूगल से बनकर आ जाती है आजकल, ये उससे बन के आ गई है। सो जो आपने मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन वहां पर गूगल में फॉर्म में पूछ रखे हैं, उन्हीं से ये बनकर आ गई है। सो ये भी आप जैसे कोई पूछ रहा था ना, ये भी कंज्यूमर प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट के लिए अवेयरनेस है। सो हमने क्या किया, हर बट देन क्योंकि ये पॉलिसी रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस कहीं अवेलेबल नहीं थे, वी हैड टू चेक इट्स रिलायबिलिटी, इट्स वैलिडिटी, कंटेंट, कॉन्ट्रास्ट एंड डिस्क्रिमिनेंट, ऑल दीज वैलिडिटी वी हैड टू चेक, तभी ये क्वेश्चन हमारा रिलायबल होगा। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?
Ma'am, as you have said that we can't remove any items from the questionnaire taken. So अगर हम उस क्वेश्चनियर को लेके अपना पायलट स्टडी करते हैं, उसके बाद फैक्टर एनालिसिस करने के बाद हमको लगता है कि कुछ आइटम्स रिमूव करने पड़ सकते हैं। व्हाट इफ इन दैट केस क्या हम रिमूव कर सकते हैं उसके
हाँ,
बाद?
परफेक्टली कर सकते, सही नहीं आई, अगर नहीं आई तो आप उसे रिमूव कर सकते हैं। सपोज करो वो रिस्पोंडेंट आउटलायर दिखा रहा है, तो आप आउटलायर को भी रिमूव कर सकते हैं।
ओके,
पर शुरुआत में आप पूरे ही लेते हैं। एंड देन
मैम
you have to then you have to clearly mention in your research का है नथानी एट ऑल 24, सो नथानी एट ऑल 24 लिखेंगे वहां पर, और फिर कहेंगे कि देन आउट ऑफ दीज 6 items 3 items were removed because they were outlier in our study.
Okay, thank you ma'am.
Yeah, I think it's enough.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, thank you for this enlightening session. Now I would like to call Dr. Neha Gaikwad, ma'am, to deliver vote of thanks. Neha, ma'am. मैम एक्चुअली मैम बोल रही थी कि कुछ नेटवर्क इशू हो रहा है, इसलिए थोड़ा टाइम लग रहा
It's
है।
all right. It's all right. कोई issue नहीं है. Meanwhile, you can ask participant to open their video so that we can have a good photograph.
Yes, ma'am. And everyone kindly switch on your videos so that we can take photos.
Hope we are not disturbing you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello. लेंदी होता है बहुत टेस्ट करना, बट
Standardized questions. So in that case, I would suggest you to make your own questionnaire, self-designed questionnaire. But then itself, it's a very great task because फिर आप उसकी वैलिडिटी निकालेंगे, एक्सपर्टीज मेथड से आप उसको वो करने आ जाएंगी रिलायबिलिटी के साथ। तो ये थोड़ा सा लंबा स्टेप हो जाएगा, ये मेरा कहना है। कर तो जब स्टैंडर्डाइज क्वेश्चनर अवेलेबल है तब नहीं करना है।
आपने जैसे प्रीवियस स्लाइड्स में बताया भी था कि जैसे अगर हमने किसी का क्वेश्चनर लिया भी है, फिर भी अगर पॉपुलेशन
तो अभी आपको
डेमोग्राफिक्स
एबिलिटी चेक करनी
पड़ेगा, वैलिडिटी चेक करना ही पड़ेगा।
बट क्या होगा पूजा की जैसे जैसे ये क्वेश्चनर जब हमने बनाया वेरिएबल, देन 4-5 क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द सेकंड वेरिएबल करते करते इतने से रह गए हम, बहुत निकलता, वो आइटम समझ ही नहीं है एंड हम उसका कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, तो वो आउटलायर बन के आ जाएगा। तो दैट इज हाउ इट इज वेरी स्टैंडर्डाइज वर्क कर। जब आप सेल्फ डिजाइन क्वेश्चनर बनाते हैं तो उस केस लोग बन जाते हैं। जैसे उन्होंने 1-1-1 टिक कर दिया, बट यू वर एक्सपेक्टिंग 3 या उन एक्सपेक्टिंग 4 या 1। सो दिस इज हाउ। Neha, shall I leave?
Just
No
1
issues.
minute, ma'am.
No issues. Yeah.
Manish sir is there. Ma'am, may I have your number, contact number? If you can share, I'm developing questionnaire. So can we get in? Ma'am, for vote of thanks. I would like to
It is in
welcome
chat
Navita
box.
Nathani, ma'am.
Ma'am, more student, there should be a two or more variable in the research paper. The topic should be the ma'am enlighten us how mechanism in the research paper and additional paper. And while designing the question paper, we should consider the ability and for giving this informative session. Our students and also we are benefiting in this session. Thank you, HOD sir, for organizing this session and give informative session.
Hey Siri, take screenshot. Hey Siri, take
Thank
screenshot.
you.
Yes.